now we're at the time where the Hamashiach is getting ready to come.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I am the Lord.
Last words, brother.
Shalom, shalom, ma.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
All right. Shabbat Israel.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, Zion. Shabbat Shalom, Zion. Hey, can everybody hear Brother Daniel clearly? Hey, Brother Daniel, I think you're going in and out, brother. If y'all can hear Brother Daniel, put a 1 in the
Can you hear
chat.
me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, you're coming in clear now. Say something else.
Okay.
Oh, I can't hear you. Say something.
Good.
No, it's jumping in and out. All righty. Can y'all hear me loud and clear?
Can you hear me?
Nah, man. For a second there, you said the whole thing, and I couldn't hear you.
Couldn't. Oh, hold on for a minute. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Okay, come on.
Make sure my sound's up. What about now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Come on.
Okay, everybody got a 1 in the chat, so it's pretty cool.
All right.
So yeah,
All right,
so
come
what we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna just talk about some really exciting things. We're gonna kind of get into the Leviathan and the Behemoth, and we're gonna talk about some of the mysteries of the Most High. You know, because there's a lot of things out there that we might not understand, but how the Most High is fighting for His people and what He's gonna do. You know, when He destroys our enemies, it's gonna be
on.
exciting. So, you know, this is something to really, really, really look at, because when we talk about the workings of the Most High, it is beyond our imagination. The things that the Most High has prepared for the destruction of our enemies. And, you know, what we're seeing right now, y'all, I mean, the wars, rumors of wars and all that stuff, that's nothing. These are man's doings. These are man ways of just, because the world has been given into the hands of the wicked, you know. We ain't seen the true judgment of the Most High. We really haven't, because when you think about, you look at all the real judgment of the Most High, all right, going all the way back to the flood, right? And how did, you know, when you read in the book of Jubilees and Jasher, how he caused a great earthquake right before the flood to warn the people, and then he broke the foundations, and you know, the water came from above and beneath. I mean, that's some powerful stuff, y'all. And then when you think about Sodom and Gomorrah, how he rained down fire and brimstone, that's judgment, y'all. That's judgment. And we haven't seen any feats like that since then, you know. And of course, you know, we haven't been alive long enough to really see anything to that magnitude. So these little stuff that you're seeing in the world, here and there, that's nothing, y'all. And a lot of this stuff is just man's doing, you know, with the creating of the diseases and all that kind of stuff, and all the propaganda and everything. That's man's doing. But when the Most High gets down, we're gonna know big difference. All right, brother, take us away.
Con. Well, just just like Brother Daniel said, we just wanted to do a little something different because we got this all this stress that's going on. People are worrying about the wrong thing, got all this war talk and etc. So we want to concentrate on a little thing, on a little bit more than just the normal, okay? Because everything that we talk about from the Most High is righteous, right? So we don't always have to just try to beat you all over the head with doing this and doing that. Certain times, we do like to bring out the fun stuff, right? So, Brother Daniel, where you want to start at? I guess we're going to do the Leviathan. You know what I'm saying? You want to start on the Leviathan? Well, first, just to break it down, right? Because when we get done breaking down these scriptures for you guys, I want you to understand that the Leviathan and the Behemoth, it's not just one particular monster in itself, right? It's just not one thing on earth. This is something that the Most High made, in the first beginning days when He first formed the earth, right? And Leviathan is basically just a giant sea monster, and the Behemoth is just a giant land monster, right? And sometimes it can also be labeled as many things, but we'll go ahead and bring out what the main things that these two animals are, because the Behemoth, one, and the Leviathan, well, Behemoth just means like a giant animal, but per se in the scripture, we're going to discuss those two animals that the Most High made, because they were the first animals that the Most High made.
Yep.
one for the land and one for the sea. All right, brother Dan, you want to say anything before we continue?
Yeah. Before we get into the scriptures, I'm going to show y'all some pictures right quick. I'm going to pull up some images. Now, y'all remember the movie? What was that movie that the latest Godzilla movie with you had Godzilla and what else? That big old giant dragon.
Oh,
And see,
hold up. No, I thought it was King Kong and Godzilla. Wasn't that it?
no, not that one. Not I'm
Not that
sorry.
one.
It was the one before that one. It was Godzilla, the king of something, whatever, the god of something. But it was Godzilla and that 4-headed, the 3-headed dragon.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
See, but you know how Hollywood they love to imitate things, and we're gonna brother, you want to get ready to pull up Enoch? I don't know if that's the one you want to go to, but
Actually, I
um,
was.
Hollywood loves to like imitate stuff,
That's why.
and some of that stuff that they do is, there's some truth to it because they know our history, they know certain secrets that the
Con.
rest of the population don't know, so they kind of throw these little hints in their movies and everything. So I guess in their eyes, this is that movie was supposed to represent the battle between the behemoth and the whatever and the Leviathan. But
Yep.
you're going to see that the Leviathan and the behemoth work for the same cause for the Most High.
That's
You
right.
know, it's pretty amazing, y'all, and everything. Um,
All
yeah,
right.
brother. Enoch, you want to pull up Enoch?
58.
Yeah, yep,
I'm
58.
already there. I'm
Okay,
already there.
and then I'll pull this up.
All right. Can you see that right there?
You might want to highlight it
Okay, con.
if you can.
Well, I guess we're gonna go from 5 all the way down to 14. That'll be pretty much give us a base understanding from what I was talking about earlier when I opened up with saying those two animals were among the first that the Most High created. Let me see. All right, con. I'll just highlight this in red. All right. uh,
All right, verse 5. So I'll start off reading verse 5, and we'll read slow, and then we'll kind of just go back and forth, and we'll explain and everything. So starting with verse 5, it says, "But when the time shall come, then shall the power, the punishment, and the judgment take place, which the Lord of spirits has prepared for those who prostrate themselves to the judgment of righteousness." What is the judgment of righteousness? That is the keeping of his laws, commandments, and statutes. By now, you all should know this because that's very important when we talking about that. And it says, and feel free to jump in anytime, brother. It
okay.
says, for those who adjourn to the judgment, and for those who take his name in vain.
So
Y'all understand? Do y'all understand what it means when it says those who take his name in vain? So when someone claims to follow the Most High and they're not keeping His laws, that's an open rebuke, and that's a form of taking His name in vain because you're not doing what we were supposed to be doing. And what was the purpose of the covenant? It was to keep His laws, commandments, and statutes. That was the condition.
con, right? You cannot like speaking the Lord's name in vain is if you attach anything wicked or something that the Most High didn't say,
Absolutely.
right? Whenever you say something the Most High didn't say, or something wicked that you know that the Most High is not down with it, and you attach that to His name, you're speaking His name in vanity. Means that things that He won't do, things that are void, things that you know that will not come to fruition, right? Because just like Brother Daniel was saying now, and in verse 5, this is talking about the judgment day and the coming of the judgment day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, brother, you want to go ahead with verse
Yep.
6, or you want to keep it going?
Yep. It says, and verse 6, it says, that day has been prepared for the elect as a day of covenant. And there's that word covenant again. And covenant just means agreement or a union. It says, and for sinners as a day of inquisition.
Right.
Y'all know what inquisition is?
Tell them, right? That's going to be a questioning, right? You're going to be on Front Street. You're going to be questioned about your wickedness and about the life that you've done, right? You're going to be questioned whether you've been righteous or you have been wicked. Those that are under the covenant, those that have the ancestors of our fathers that followed under the cloud in the wilderness.
Mm-hmm. In verse 7, It says, "In that day shall be distributed for food 2 monsters."
Mm,
Distributed
right.
for food 2 monsters. A female monster whose name is Leviathan, dwelling in the depths of the sea above the springs of water. Verse 8, and a male monster whose name is Behemoth, which possesses, moving on his breast, the invisible wilderness, the invisible wilderness.
Like, and what is the invisible wilderness, Israel? Right. It says, which possess moving on his breast the invisible wilderness. The invisible wilderness is the air.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like if you're flying, right? If he's moving the wind across his breast, his wings, it's talking about the visible wilderness, right? The visible wilderness is the air. Okay.
Yep. Verse 9, his name was Daniel in the east of the garden, if I pronounced that right, where the elect and the righteous will dwell. Did I
You
hear
said
that?
it.
Let me read that again. And his name was Daniel in the east of the garden, where the elect and the righteous will dwell, where he received it from my ancestor, who was man from Adam, the first of men, whom the Lord of spirits made. Mm,
So what
powerful.
does
Go
that tell
ahead.
you right there, right? Right. Then Dayan, he was named because remember Adam named all the creatures, right? When he came on the earth, the Most High brought all the animals in front of and him, and he named them, right? And this guy's name, right? This what we call the behemoth, right? His proper name would be Dindayan, right?
Mhm.
Dindayan. All right, go ahead, brother. Salaki.
All right. And verse 10 says, "Then I asked of another angel to show me the power of those monsters." Now, here we go. How they became separated on the same day, one being in the depths of the sea and one in the dry desert. Verse 11. And he said, "Thou son of man, art here Darius of understanding secret things." Yeah, that's secret things. Verse 12. And the angel of peace, who was with me, said, "These 2 monsters are by the power of God prepared to become food, that the punishment of God may not be in vain. Mm. Then shall children be slain with their mothers,
Mm,
and sons with their fathers."
all right.
Verse
This is the
14.
judgment.
That's
Con.
right. Verse 14. And when the punishment of the Lord Spirit shall continue, upon them, upon them shall it continue, that the punishment of the Lord of spirits may not take place in vain. After that, judgment shall exist with mercy and long suffering.
Right.
That's powerful, y'all.
So, con. Right. So it says, these two monsters, right? They're as you see now, these are the two same monsters that were what? They have always been here. As you
Hmm.
see now, if these monsters are going to be here at the end, that the same first two monsters, well, I mean, the first two type of monsters that the Most High created, right? On the same, as you see that they were around when they were being named, right? They were being named all the way back in the Garden of Eden, where what? Where it says already, and it also says that, and this also means what? That the Garden of Eden is not destroyed. All right, the Garden of Eden is somewhere. It said this where the righteous will, where we will dwell. Right.
Yep.
So that means that's in the future, right? For those that will be saved, those that are able to pass this judgment, and you are able to come out scot free past the Inquisition, you will be able to do what? Rest in the Garden of Eden.
That's
Right.
right.
God. All right, brother. You wanna hey, did you have anything else you wanted to get before we move on?
No, no, let's go.
No, I'm gonna go to Psalms 41 real quick. I'm gonna get the long ones out the way. Uh, all right. So we're gonna get like a let me see.
You can Psalms 104:25.
Well, no, well, we can go
Oh,
Psalms 40. We can read the whole thing. This is just pretty
okay.
much this whole thing is pretty much talking about it. All right. Oh, well, hold on. Let's see. Oops. What was it? Psalms, Salakia, Psalms 40. That's me. Yeah. Those Psalms 40.
And we're going to show you too. While he's pulling it up, we're going to show you how the Most High is going to send Leviathan for those wicked, just going to try to hide under the sea and everything. You know, people think they're going to hide in their little bunkers and all that kind of stuff. Most High is going to get them, y'all.
He's gonna send these monsters to do the dirty work.
We're going to show you. We're going to show you from scriptures exactly what it says. You know.
Oh no wonder, man. I'm in the wrong. I know that. Salakia. I'm in the wrong book. That's what was going on. I was like, man, what's going on here? I know I'm. All right, here we go. I don't know why. Okay, here we go. Come on. All right, y'all. This whole chapter right here, if you guys want to get a pretty good description on the Leviathan, and this is the sea monster, you guys can go to Job 41. It has a pretty good description on how you know how just how deadly this thing is, and you can see like just from the description how Hollywood has pretty much stole a lot of their ideas from the Bible and created a lot of their monsters. Right? It says, "Can thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Can thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn? Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever?" Which means that, you know, like these are just pretty much examples of showing the beast and his pride. It's like, hey, you know, you can't do nothing with the Leviathan. You know what I mean? You can't tame the Leviathan. You can't capture him. There's nothing you can do. It says, "Without play with him as with a bird, or without bind him for thy maidens," right? Which means that what? You know what I'm saying? You know, man, they try to go out, they try to capture great fish so they can what? Show off to their old ladies, right? So they can show off for the maidens, for, you know, for the young women, right? For the virgins in this case, because the maiden here is talking about virgins if we're in the scriptures. "Or wilt thou bond them for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants?" You see this, right? It says, "Shall the companions make a banquet of him?" Meaning that, you know how the wicked heathens, right, on Thanksgiving, right? They make a banquet of what? A turkey, right? Khan, the Leviathan, right? They make a banquet of the turkey, right? And they part the turkey, right, when they sell it in the stores, right, among the merchants. They're saying that what? You're not going to be able to do that with the Leviathan. You ain't going to be able to capture him. You're not going to be able to make a banquet with him. And you damn sure ain't going to be able to sell him among the merchants, because guess what? You're not going to be able to kill him and sell off none of his flesh to anybody. It says, "Can thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears?" Right? So what does that mean? That fish spears, we're talking about something that's in the water here, right? It says, "Lay thy hand upon him, remember the battle, do no more." That means if you do try him, you're going to remember it. And you ain't going to never try it again, right? You ain't going to do it anymore. "Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him?" So, right? You got something you want to say before I go?
Oh yeah, no. Go ahead.
All right, Con, right? So it says that even the sight of him is terrible, right? So like most folks, if you look at something, it's going to be so terrible to look at that, you know, you really ain't going to want to deal with it, right? It says, "None is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me?" Right? So the Most High, right? I mean, a Hamashiach is actually, and you know, just the heavenly presence here between Hamashiach and the Most High. They're comparing. It says that that the Leviathan is so terribly frightening to see, right? And so great, gargantuous, that you don't want to stand before him. So if you don't want to stand before him, how much more do you not want to stand before the Most High? Right? Or even Hamashiach. How much more do you want to stand before Hamashiach in his spiritual body? Right? It says, "Who have prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever under the whole heaven is mine." Right? It's talking about the Most High here. "I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely portion. Who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him double his bridle, or with his double bridle?" Which means that this is an animal you cannot capture. You know, man, you know how these heathens try to go out and they try to capture great whites, you know, whales, and all these things that are, you know, leagues, times bigger than them, right?
And before you go on, brother, and let me know if I'm fading out or anything like that. But
Okay.
y'all need to understand, these creatures, that this particular creature that the Most High has created, that's in the depths of the sea, right? Now, I've talked to several mariners who's been in submariners that go way down, and then these submarines can only go down so far. And if you know the science of biology and all that kind of stuff, there's only so far a human being can go underwater before they're crushed with all the pressure of that water. And no man, I don't care what they say, but no machine, no man has ever been to the bottom of the ocean because the pressure is so great. It would even crush the strongest thing. But there are creatures that the Most High has created that can survive that kind of pressure under there, and we've never seen them. And man's been trying to figure out stuff because they know that the Leviathan exists. They know that the Behemoth exists. They just never seen it because this creature is so fierce, so strong that it can withstand any kind of pressure that's underwater. And like I said, these submarines can only go so far. And don't think that these submarines are just going there, going down doing military drills, stuff like that. They're looking for stuff, y'all. They are looking for stuff because they know the Heavenly Father exists. They know that we are the chosen people, and they know that the Most High is going to destroy this place.
Huh.
Yep.
Right. So Lakia, right? Okay. So Israel. Um. Uh. And so, just like we were saying earlier, we just got to decide to, we just kind of decided to get on something that's off topic than what's going on because, just like the Bible says in Matthew 24:6 or Mark 13:7, that the end is not here, right? The end is not yet. You might hear wars and rumors of wars, but the end is not yet, right? So we just need to concentrate on the wonders of the Most High to keep us interested, and just want to keep looking at what we can see when the kingdom comes. It'll be just that more. Saying that much more. So we got here. All right, it says, who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come up to him with his double bridle, right? Who can open the doors of his face? The teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, shut up together with a closed seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. Damn, that's serious, right? I mean, man, that's that's some serious armor the Most High made this thing with, right? And this is supposed to be one of the first creatures that he made, right? He made one for the air and then one for the water. It says, they are joined one to another. They stick together that they cannot be sundered, right? It means that sundered means they cannot be taken apart or broken apart. By his nestlings, a light doth shine, and his eyes are like that the eyelids of the morning, which means that his eyes are shining, right? And he has a glowing spot. Man, this is the exact same thing that they get when they talk about the dragon, right?
Mm.
Or damn Godzilla, right? It says, out of his mouth go burning lamps and sparks of fire leap out. So not only is this a water creature, but he's has fire and he's flames that leaps out to his mouth, right? It says, out of his nostrils go a smoke, and out of his seething and out of a seething pot of cauldron. His breath kindleth clothes, and his fame and a flame goeth out of his mouth. His neck remaineth strength,
Mm-hmm.
and sorrow is turned into joy before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together, and they are firm in themselves. They cannot be moved. Right. So he has flakes of his flesh, and he has armor that cannot be that no air can be. Okay, I see. All right, that's cool. Right. It says his heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of neither millstone. Right. Which is extremely hard. Right. It says when he raises up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reasoning of breaking, they purify themselves. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, the spear, the dart, nor the habergeon. He esteemeth iron as straw. Wow, right? So he's so strong, like anything of an iron work, he sees it as straw, and brass as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. Right. So I mean, man, that's some pretty hard skin. So that means if you're like, swinging it as hard as you can, and then you try to hit it against his skin, that it's gonna bust apart, like the rock is gonna bust apart, right? Man, that's pretty deep there. It says, the darts are counted as stubble, and he laugheth at the shaking of a spear. Sharp stones are under him, right? Let me see. Sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp pointed things upon the mire. Right. Okay. So he's in the lake here. Right. The mire is the lake. Right. And he has sharp stones up under him. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. Mm, right. So probably like even in today's time, when you see those like boiling spots in the ocean or like boiling spots in the lake, this is probably a Leviathan up under there. Right. It says he maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. Wow. Right. He maketh a path to shine after him. No one would think the deep to be hoary. Upon earth there is not like, and there is not his like, who is made without fear. He beholdeth all things, all high things. He is the king over all the children of pride. I mean, that's a hell of a monster that the Most High has made, right?
That's right.
That's a serious monster right there. I mean, he got glowing eyes. His eyes are like the morning, so it's like sunshine. He has, he has at his where his pieces are connected, right? His skin is connected when it's still tight. He has glowing, you know what I'm saying? He has glowing pieces all on him. His scales are so hard that I guess if it says the iron is like a straw, you could, what do they make bullets out of? You know what I mean? Bullets
That's
would
right.
just bounce right off of them, right? They would just bounce right off of them, or just turn the doggone stubble, or they would just break apart if they tried to hit on them. Well, that's that's pretty serious there. Oh, you got anything?
Yeah, somebody mentioned something right quick. I was trying to pull it up. She
Con,
said, "Oh, this is Benya. This is probably where they got the King Kong and Godzilla story from. There's no
con,
problem to it. It is where they got the King Kong and the whole Godzilla story because that's where they get all the stuff from.
con.
But they just they put their own little twist in there and they preferred it and all that kind of stuff. So
That's right. That's right.
that's where they get it from.
Con. All right, we're gonna go to the next chapter. Behind. I should have went to Job 40 first, but we'll get another one over here in Job for dealing with the Leviathan, right? Because this is
And
pretty
why he's
descriptive.
pulling it up, I want to why are we discussing this and why this is important? Because it's dealing with the judgment of the Most High. So you gotta
Con,
understand the Most High. The Most High never broke His covenant with us, and He's preparing in the scene all the stuff that's going on in the world. Whatever is going to fulfill itself out. All right, but the Most High is preparing something much greater, and that is the deliverance of His people. Whenever that's going to be, we're not setting no time frames and anything like that. But there will come a time where His people will be delivered
con.
and brought into the wilderness if we're alive or whoever's alive during that time when it happens.
That's right. And it says in the scriptures that you're not gonna know. It says folks gonna be married and given in marriage and all of this stuff, just like it was back in the day when when Noah, when he got on the ark and he rode out on everybody and everybody died. They didn't know any different. He
That's right.
prophesied for 125 years, right? Told everybody, hey man, the Lord's gonna kill y'all. But then hey, everybody's doing the same old thing. It's not gonna
Yeah.
be no World War III and then the Most High is gonna come back. That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It says that, everything's going to be how it's going to be. Everything's just going to be going to normal. You're not going to know any different. Whatever the times may be that we're in at that time, it may seem like it. Like, just imagine all the other past times. We've had the Cold War, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, all kinds of other nations, the first Punic War, the second Punic War,
Yeah.
all the African wars, I mean, like we've had so many plagues and things like this that's been on the earth so many times, right? Even back in the day, even 2,000 years ago, when the prophets were asking Hamashiach, the disciples were asking, Salakia, not the prophets, but the disciples were asking Hamashiach, when will the time of Israel become, right? So it's the same thing that's going on from here to now, right? You're not going to know, right? So stop worrying about these world wars and all this other stuff. One thing we need to be worrying about is just keeping these commandments, right? Because we have a lot about that. Folks, they just get all messed up worrying about the wrong thing. Man, we need to be worrying about this kingdom and what's coming next.
And it was so bad about it. People weren't about that stuff, and they didn't keeping the laws. Thinking they're gonna be delivered and everything. The
Hmm.
Bible says that Hamashiach, he said his coming. He said my coming will be like a thief in the night. If somebody's watching you and if somebody wants to break in your house, they're not going to come up and tell you, "Hey, I'm going to break in your house." They're gonna watch your every move. You're not going to even know they're watching you and everything. And then it'll just happen, and that's the way it's going to be when the Most High comes back. Nobody's going to be expecting it because everybody is expecting to come back tomorrow. Everybody is expecting the Most High to come back next year. Oh, Russia's going to war with Ukraine. Oh, the Most High is going to come back now because they're going to war. They've been going at it. This has been going on, like brother said, it's been going on all the time, And that little thing that Russia and Ukraine got, that's been going on for a long time. Now, this is what I truly believe. I truly believe that the angels of the Most High disarmed all their nukes, and that's just me. That's what I believe because I don't even think they can use the nukes even if they wanted to, you know. And, but you gotta understand, like brother was saying, and like the scripture says, the Most High has commanded us to study this word and to live our life and to work our salvation out with fear and trembling. And I'm going to tell you, most of y'all are going to go to the grave. You're going to grow old. You're going to go to the grave. So you better make the best of your spiritual life and put in that work. So that you can be judged righteously.
Pace yourself, Israel, with this truth, right? The scriptures always talking about brothers with zeal in the beginning and how they be going off having a zeal for the wrong thing, right? You can't get, you can't get too excited. You see these brothers out here, they just came into the truth. And then, they've been in the truth 5-10 years. And then now, next thing you know, they out here teaching that the Most High is about to come back because they see a little war. And it's every week, every kind of argument or something. You might hear somebody on here talking about, oh yeah, the Most High is about to come back. Hey, man. Calm down, hey man, all they gotta do is just calm down, relax, right? Pray, fast, and start keeping these commandments. They'll be the main ones that, if the Most High do come back, you're gonna be the main one destroyed. You better hope he don't. You better pray that you get as much time as possible and I hate this life and hate living in this wickedness on up here.
Yeah, and Peter Piper, you're right. He says, "Rejoice at these signs. Redemption is near." But your redemption can end today. Your redemption can end tomorrow. And you don't know. You don't know when your life is going to end because it's like a vapor. And if you're living all you can to the commandments with all your heart, mind, and strength, but if you're not, and you're not wearing your fringes, and you're not keeping any of the laws, then that salvation ends, and you know better. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different story, and you're going to be judged according to that. So, y'all got to be careful about words you speak, because a lot of people will say, "Oh, our redemption is near." That's true, but at the same time, we can go out just like that. And you're not keeping the Most High's laws and everything. You're not wearing your fringes. You're not you're letting your beard grow out. You're breaking the Shabbat. You're eating pork, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we're not saying that you couldn't rejoice. Hey, Salaki, right? We're not saying, sure, rejoice. But remember, man, that's in, he said that signs for the redemption. He was saying that 2,000 years, brother. These signs have been happening for 2,000 years. Your mind and what the most, this is how Mashiach talking, right? You know what I'm saying? Because his mind to him, 1,000 years is one day to him. You understand? The little bit of time that he was on the earth for 33 years, the little bit of time that he was here, right? That was only, to him, that was a blink of an eye. That's nothing.
Mm-hmm. So you can rejoice. You can rejoice. Just make sure you're keeping these laws, commandments, and statutes. Because if you're rejoicing, but you're not keeping these laws, commandments, and statutes, then you're outside the box. That's plain and simple. All right, brother. I think your mic might have muted.
Oh, Salaki, I'm back.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you want to start on this Job 40?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, come on. It says, "Behold now behemoth, which I made with thee, he eateth grass as an ox." All right, so this is not.
Before you know what, brother, before you go to behemoth, I wanted to something about the Leviathan too. Give me I'll pull it right quick, and then we'll come back to that.
All right.
So wanted to show y'all that how people are gonna be trying to hide and everything, but the Most High got something for them. So this is Psalms 104:25. It says, "So is this great and wide sea, wherein are things creeping innumerable, both small and great beasts. There go the ships. There is that Leviathan, thou whom has made to play therein. These wait all upon thee, and thou mayest give them their meat in due season." That's powerful, y'all.
All right. I'm just while he's at Leviathan, I'm gonna pull up something else. This is going to be like a precept sort of to what was it? I think that was Enoch 58 that we first brought out in the beginning. Salakia, Israel. All right, let me bring this up. Right now, I think this was I think it's 6. If I'm not mistaken. Uh, mm, okay, let me see here. What's this? Mm, Slovakia. Okay, here we go right here. It says, then this is the same thing that we just read. Well, part of the same thing that we read in Enoch earlier, right? So it says, then didst thou ordain 2 living creatures, right? The one called Enoch, even though it was Din Darin, right, and the other one because I don't know what I'm. You know what? That's a good idea. I am going to research this the name for behemoth. For some reason, behemoth, the name for the actual behemoth, it seems to change. But this is weird. It says, okay, so the behemoth evidently here is named Enoch, and the other Leviathan, and did it separate one from another. For the 7th part, namely, wherein the water was gathered together, might not hold them both, right? Might not hold them both. Wow, and these are some big old creatures, right? So it says
Mhm.
that, with the 7th part, namely, where the water was gathered together, might not hold them both. Unto Enoch, thou gavest one part, which was dried up the 3rd day, right? Which is what? What happened on the 3rd day, right? Lord had land. And, and he should dwell in the same part wherein are 1,000 hills. But unto Leviathan, who thou givest the 7th part, which is the ocean, right? Namely the moist, and hast kept him to be devoured, of whom thou wilt and when, right? Upon the 6th day thou gavest commandment unto the earth that before thee it shall bring forth beasts, cattle, and creeping things. All right, so I just wanted to bring that out. I was talking about the Leviathan there, and the behemoth. Also, this could also be looked at as as in total, like the land creatures. They were saying that, and then like the sea creatures, like some of them could be like the larger ones could be the Leviathan, because I think it talks about I think they were talking about after the flood. I mean, not after the flood, but when Moses had split the sea, they were eating the Leviathan. Hold on, let me look. Let me see if I can find that real quick. You got something real quick where I can pull that up?
Yeah, go ahead. I want to pull up something too as well. I want to show them
All
something
right, let's
recent to
let me
Amos.
see.
So let's look at Amos 9:3. Want to share something too, and this is just still talking about how the wicked, is going to be hiding in that. They're not going to escape the Most High's judgment. No one's going to escape the Most High's judgment, and that's why when we talk about these great beasts, the Most High is going to preserve them, to the end of days, so they can destroy our enemies. So Amos 9:3 says, "And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And thou, and though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them." You know,
Mm,
they ain't gonna be able to hide nowhere, y'all. They building all these underground bunkers and all this kind of stuff because, they this doomsday. They think that they're gonna escape the judgment of the Most High. They think all the treatment that they gave us hell and their descendants, they think they just going to get away scot free. Excuse me, that's not going to happen.
let's see.
And the devil knows his time is short, and so they're trying all they can to try to destroy us.
Con.
But we already know, that's not going to happen because the Most High is going to always have his, preserve his seed, and they're going to try. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of our people will be destroyed with their enemies because they got, they're hit with the spirit of inclusion on them. But the Most High will have a remnant. That's a guarantee. He will have a remnant. We don't know how many that's going to be, but he will have a remnant of people
That's right.
on this earth when it
Yes.
all ends. Whether we be alive or not, see it, he will have a remnant.
Con. Right.
Yes, sir.
Let me see. I think it was Psalm 74. think it was Psalm 74:12. All right. What's going on? Technical difficulties. Like Israel. I don't know what's going on with that. Psalms. All right, I think it's Psalm 74. All right, I think it's 14 maybe.
Why are you pulling that up, Tana Rotten? He said, "Preferably, I can get fringes sewn on my work clothes. All praises, all praises." And, you can get fringes. You can get fringes at Joann's. You can get them. I know they have some at Walmart, and you can probably get some at Michael's as well too. They're easy. They're easy to get, easy to make as well too. You can do them yourself and everything. But it's good because we should want to go back to our heritage. That's what we're commanded to do. And that's not hard at all. And we should be proud of our heritage. I'm gonna tell you something. Every culture that's out there is proud of their heritage. You look at the Indian culture, they're proud of their heritage. The Chinese culture, they're proud of their heritage. We're the only ones that are not. We're trying to blend in with everybody else. We're trying to blend in with everybody else's culture, except for our own. That's insanity. And there's a saying that insanity. Y'all know what the true meaning of sanity is? Insanity is repeating the same thing over and over and expecting different results. That's insanity, y'all. And that's what we've been doing constantly, doing the same things over and over and over and expecting the same results. For example, going to church, praying, marching, praying for our so-called enemies that enslaved us, all that stuff, still being hated and everything. So you know what I'm saying. And the Most High said that He was going to smite us with madness, astonishment of heart. So that's why we talk about these things, so we can show you from the scriptures what's getting ready to come upon our enemies. And ever since the fall, this whole thing with sin has been spreading like wildfire, and it's because of our people being worshiping idols and everything. We fell from grace. And now the whole world is in turmoil because of us.
Brother,
that's why the Most High has to get the order back.
Hey, I'm going through some technical difficulties. Could you do me a favor and pull up Psalm 74:12?
Yes. Sure.
What's going on here? Thank you.
So Psalm 74:12.
Con. It's weird.
There we go.
Let me close this down. Okay, word. Okay, there it is right there. It says, for God is my king of old, right? Working salvation in the midst of the earth. Thou didst divide the sea by thy strength, right? What is this talking about? Right? He divided the sea by thy strength. What sea? The Red Sea. Thou breakest the heads of the dragons in the waters. Thou breakest the heads of Leviathan in pieces, and gavest him to be meat to the people inhabiting the wilderness. Thou didst cleave the fountain and the flood. Thou driedest up the mighty rivers. Right. So who is this talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? This is said that the Lord that's going to take, for this to happen, it's going to take the Most High to beat down the Leviathan in order to feed him to us. All right. You just can't just go in there as a man and beat down the Leviathan. You ain't cut like that. Right. You got to be the Most High, or you got to be Hamashiach. If you ain't either or no doubt possibly one of the angels too. But if you ain't none of that, if you're a man, you ain't got nothing coming.
And we ain't even began to see the power of the true power of the Most High. I can't wait. And I pray the Most High's will. That's why I say only if it's the Most High's will. That we see some of those things. We see some of those true miracle powers that the Most High is going to bestow upon this earth. That's going to be. Just imagine if I don't know if some of y'all live out in the country where you can see the stars at night. But remember, brother, when we had our first feast days at the camp, at this one camp that we got for free. We didn't have to pay for, and we had about we had about good almost 30 something people out there. during that. It was 2019 or 2020, but I think it was one of those.
Yeah, it was a
But
few years
anyway,
back.
we were
Yeah.
out we were out looking at the stars, y'all, and man, it was just the luminaries were so bright out there that you could see like it almost looked like the firmament was about to part, something.
Yeah, it looked like we were seeing that part that was yeah, you remember in the
What
scriptures
they what, what,
where it
what they
says
call it?
the windows of heaven had opened up
Yeah,
and
yeah,
remember he had flooded the earth. It looked like we were seeing that part.
yeah.
Uh
It's the one they call the Milky Way, but because man make up stuff. But the little thing they call the Milky Way, and it looks like a string of just luminaries that are there. It looked like that thing was about to part. But just I'm bringing that up to tell you all that just imagine if the Most High were to roll back the firmament, and you would see His face, and that's why the Bible says in Revelation says that they're gonna call the rocks to fall on them, and says hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne. Because
con.
they're gonna see a black face, and all these years they've been taught that a white man's gonna come out the sky.
That's
I mean,
right.
they're gonna be shocked. And that's what I'm saying, y'all. We haven't seen nothing like that. We've never seen nothing like that. Our forefathers, and that's what we're talking about. These great signs with these two beasts and the Leviathan, the Behemoth, because we've never seen stuff like that. Now, can you imagine being there when the Most High split the Red Sea? Could you? I mean, just I want you to just imagine that in your heads right now. Imagine you sitting at the Red Sea right now and seeing the Red Sea just split, where you can just walk across on dry land, not wet land, dry land, and then on the right and the left, you're looking at a wall of water that's like 100 feet high.
That's right.
Can y'all imagine that, y'all? I mean, we've never witnessed anything like that. That's what I'm saying. And it's like our forefathers witnessed stuff like that, but we've never witnessed anything like that.
Con, right. I wanted to show hold on, let me pull something out. Let me try to share this screen real quick. Oh, what happened to him? Israel, what happened to brother Daniel? He just disappeared from us. Okay, looks like he'll be back on the live in just a second. Just give him a little minute to add on. All right. All wise there. All right, speaking of the luminaries, I wanted to let me show you guys something dealing with the luminaries. All right. Brother, you're back. Welcome.
Yeah,
Ah,
it fell off. I don't know what happened there.
all right. I'm about to share this. I'm about to share this tab real quick of some luminaries. I wanted Israel to see this real quick.
Oh,
All
okay.
right, Con. All right, hey brother, you can see that.
I can see that real good.
All right, Con. All right, here we go, Israel. I want y'all to see this real quick. All right.
That's exactly how it looked.
Con. Let's see if I can. All right. You see how that's like? All right, right here, right? You see that right there, right? Slakia, right? That little
It
that
went
little
black.
dot.
The
Yeah,
screen's black.
yeah, Con, I did that. Hey, can y'all hear me, Israel? Hold on, Israel, can y'all hear me? All right,
I can hear you.
brother. All right, Con. All right. Now, the reason why I showed that, that little, hold on, let me rewind that back a little bit, right? Right. This little circle right here, this is a Sirius star, right? This doesn't move, right? This does not move at all, right? All the circles, as you see, this is a time lapse, and you see it's fast and it's moving. This is a time lapse, it's moving fast. So this is what it looks like. Right? The stars stay in the same pattern all the time, circling. Just like if you're what's that thing that you call that you put above the baby head and and it spins around or whatever in their cradle or whatever, and they look at it and then they fall asleep. I forgot what it's called, but you guys get the picture, right? But it's something to say. Now if now let's say we got the heathens now, right? They'll tell you from Nicholas Copernicus, and he came up with the heliocentric theory, right? 270 something years before there was even a damn hot air balloon, and what I'm saying? Not even a hot air balloon came into existence, right? And he came up with a theory by staking some damn sticks in the ground and watching the shadows bend or look different from the area, and then he discovered that, well, he says that the world is round, right? He came up with some heliocentric theory that says no longer the Earth is done. It's not the center. It's not stationary, but we're revolving around the sun, right? In fact, it's some kind of 137 and a third degrees. I'm at 137 third miles per hour is what the Earth is supposedly spinning, even though we can't feel it, right? They were supposed to be traveling around the sun at another
Mm.
phenomenal speed, like 500 and something thousand miles an hour, right? All the time, right? That we can see that the stars don't freaking move. How is it that the stars stay the same? The constellations stay the same all the time when we're doing all this damn spinning, but it just stays the same and the star series does not move. That don't make any sense.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That does not make any sense whatsoever. All right, so let's see what else we got in this video because I just pulled this up. I just want to see. There it is again. Right, there it is again. It's the same thing, right? We just see on the other side. This don't move, Israel. So this will be impossible. These are the kinds of physics that are absolutely impossible on a so-called round Earth that the heathen have come up with. Every civilization, period, according, what I'm saying, until the albino heathen started being plentiful on the Earth, and his wild theories. Every civilization, and I do mean every civilization, has depicted the Earth as what it describes in the Bible.
And
Come
everything
about the
they told us in
firmament.
textbooks about the whole universe is a lie. Even going to the moon is a lie. They never went to no moon. They can't even get past the dome.
Con. Right. So that stuff is, doesn't it doesn't make any sense, right? But just to bring it out just a little more things that we have to deal with and then you see how that looks at it. I mean, look at that. Right. It depends on where you're at in the earth. Do you see these things? And it's all the flat plane of just hills and mountains, right? It's buoyancy and density. Whatever is lighter than air floats, whatever is heavier than air sinks. Right? That's the like for example, when they fly, just like I was saying, like a few weeks back. That's why you can only go so high with propeller planes. Man, they even telling themselves. They say that the air gets what? It gets thinner as we get higher. So if the air gets thinner when it gets higher, then just wait to it, right? And it's weighing down this what? Like it's packed up from here to there, and then when they get up to the top of the atmosphere, you can't go anymore. There's nothing to grab onto. There's nothing for you to create a force for you to propel yourself anymore. Which is why Nimrod was way smarter than any of these heathen that we have today.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's why Nimrod made the tower that you can keep on grabbing onto stuff to keep on rising up to the top, and why the Most High had to destroy it because they were trying to go to the they were trying to go to the molten glass.
And it's amazing how like when you like brother was saying, you try to go up and there's nothing to grab onto, but then you try to go under the seas, the pressure will crush you. So it's like I'm saying that because the Most High is so powerful that He's made it where man can't even escape this earth.
Right. That's another interesting topic, right? So let's say let me let me look at this over. Fuck yeah, right. Let me look at the glass. All right, so I want to show you something, right, Israel? So let's say, right, this glass of water right here, right? Y'all see that glass of water, right? This glass of water. Imagine that this is all the water that's in the earth right now. We have all this water right here in the earth right here. That's all the water that we have. So no matter how much it rains, no matter how much it floors, what I'm saying, no matter what, it's going to go back into the ocean, the lakes, and the rivers, right? It's going to go into the lakes, the oceans, and the rivers, right? Hey, brother, pull up Genesis 1 for me if you don't mind,
Mm-hmm.
right? Oh no, hold on. I think that's Genesis.
When you the firmament, when you talk about the firmament.
No, when you open up the waters, when it says He opened up the heavens, open up the windows of heaven. I think that's 7. Genesis 7. All right. All right. Now remember this, Israel. Okay, since we're talking about this, right? You see this right here. This is all the water that we have on this earth today. Right. Now remember, if you believe in the flood, right, you're gonna have to believe that the earth is not round and it definitely have a dome covering us, right? If you believe in the flood, you cannot believe in the flood and believe in a round earth, right? And believe there's space and all that madness out there. It's impossible, and I'm gonna show you in just a minute, right? As soon as Brother Daniel brings this up, Genesis 7 and 11,
Okay.
right? Um, this right here, this is all the water that we have. So that means that, today that this is all the water that we have. That means no matter how much it rains, the precipitation, the evaporation, all the processes that we go through in the earth, right? We can never flood it to the point that, you can get remains of boats on the top of, the tallest mountains in the earth, right? That would never happen. Right? So it says, in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, in the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up. Right? You heard that? So you have to break up the fountains of the great deep, which we have not reached yet, right? Because nobody knows how deep the ocean is, right? And the windows of
Go ahead.
heaven were opened, and the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. What does that mean, right? The windows, that means that what? In order to let me pull that back up. Salakia, right? In order for this to overflow, right, what do we have to do to it? We have to add more water in it that's not on the earth, right? We have to add more water that is not on the earth in order for the earth to overflow. So what is that telling you? And he said what? The waters from the top of the what? He says the windows. That means everything up here that was covered by the glass dome is up here.
Mhm.
That's which is why you look up today and you see the sky and it's blue. It's because there's water on the opposite side of it,
Yep.
right? Because we're underwater. We're what is this? What do you call it?
Firmament.
Terranium? No,
Oh,
no. I mean Terrarium or man. There's some kind of word I can't think of it, man. At the moment, but it's like Terranium or Deuterium or something like that. It is called that. They actually have a uh they actually have it like a live thing where they have it like an enclosed like it is on our earth, you know what I'm saying, like it is on the earth, how they enclosed and everything just grows lush inside of it, everything just like the Most High made it,
like an atmosphere.
right? You know what I'm saying, right, exactly, but it's closed off just like it is right here,
Hmm.
you know. The same thing, you see a rainbow, all that. So why do you think why do you think the rainbow even curves like that when you see it, right? The prisms bounce off of what?
And that's right. That's another example to show you how the Earth is domed. You know,
Right?
when we
Technically,
see the
you
Earth
should be
in
able
the
to see
dome
a
shape.
rainbow. That's
Yeah.
right. The only reason why you're able to see the spectrum of a rainbow is because the spectrum is bouncing off the top of the dome.
That's
It's
powerful.
literally bouncing off the top of the dome, which is why you're able to. Yes, terranium. Yeah, terranium. That's it. Yeah, con. Matter of fact, let me see if I can. Let me look it up. I want to show you this. Come on, there it is, right there. All right, right. They have these things, right? Uh, that's a good picture of one, right? Fully enclosed, right? The only thing you have to do is add water in it, and it does the rest by itself. You don't have to do anything. They have these things that have been closed for years. You understand? Just like the Earth, it does all the same things, just like the Most High made it.
It's kind of
Right?
like what they create today, like a greenhouse. You know, you see all these greenhouses and stuff. It's pretty much exactly what it is.
Con, terranium. Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But yep, but that's exactly what it is. It's the exact same thing, right? So it's a closed, like we're in an enclosed situation. You can't get out. You know what I'm saying? That's why supposedly they ain't been back to the damn moon and however many millions of years. I don't say millions of years, but how many? How's it been? It's been almost what was it almost 100 years now? It's almost right. It's
Hmm.
coming up. I mean, like they can't. They say what? Why can't they get? Oh, we've lost the telemetry data. I mean, come on, man. That's you know what I'm saying.
And
All those
you,
trips, that doesn't make any sense.
speaking of that, brother, before, and you brought up a good point, and I'm thinking, before the flood happened, before the Most High opened the foundation of the deep and windows of heaven opened, can you imagine how? Because everything was bigger. Prior to that, everything was bigger because of the pressure was much greater, you know, and
Con,
that's why the fruits were extremely huge. Everything was much bigger.
con.
It was a perfect atmosphere.
Now, speaking of that, what Brother Daniel was definitely on to something is because now, mm, okay, I gotta find it, right? But there's a scripture that talks about when the flood came, the Most High had angels come down to cut down the trees, right? Because this is why our brothers was living 989 years like Methuselah, right? Yeah, you had Adam, he ain't died, he was 700 and some change, right? You know what I'm saying? Which is why, he didn't live the whole day that the Most High said he said he was gonna die that same day. It's because 1,000 years is a day to the Lord, and that's why he died
And
uh less
even
than
after
a
the
thousand years old.
fall, yeah, exactly. Even after the fall, they were still living. They were still living a lot all those years and everything. And even when Joshua and the boys went over, remember they said that the grapes were as big as their hands, big as their heads almost.
Con. And then like just scientifically, that would double the oxygen density, right? Let's say for example, if we had all of those gigantic trees like they talk about in the scripture, right? The jasper trees and all this other stuff, or all these other the trees of Lebanon, and they're supposed to be so great that you can see them from cities, far, so far from other countries, you can see these gigantic trees. Just imagine how much oxygen these things were producing, right? So if that would be similar, right, to double the oxygen density, far as like, you could probably sprint 100 miles because your cells would be so saturated in oxygen, you wouldn't get tired. This is the same type of atmosphere that you see those elites, the like the football players, the basketball players, when they want to go heal up a broken bone in a month or so, they go into the hyperbaric chamber. Where did they get that idea from? You got to understand that these folks don't come up with these ideas out of the, out of nowhere. It says that in the beginning, that even for us to even learn how to make steel and weapons, man, we were taught that by fallen angels.
Yeah.
We're just not going to come down here and all of a sudden be like, well, I need to melt it at 70 degrees this and mix this iron ore with this right here for, the 32 degrees, and then go ahead and bang it out and do. No, man, we were taught that. Right? You know what I'm saying? The Most High didn't attend none of that. He did not attend a war or any of that stuff that happened. Right? You know what I mean? It's just, so it just so happened that, the Most High had all the creatures, so all the creatures were talking in the beginning. And that was just too much noise for for Eve for Eve at the time, and she couldn't tune them out, and she got tricked by the serpent. You know what I mean? Just imagine the serpent being like, I don't know where people get that was the devil from. Nah, man, it was just one of them animals, just like this, like man. I mean, like even today, you can see like animals. They seem to have some type of weirdly weird intelligence where they're smarter than what they really let on to be. Like they're doing stuff to just aggravate you sometime, or doing this, that, and the third. Now just imagine if they could talk, just like we had the donkey that was talking in what was that, Chronicles, I believe it was, right? Or it was talking about or was that Numbers? It's one or the other, right? And had the donkey was talking, and it said that the Lord had opened the mouth of the donkey, right? Which means that he had to close the mouth of the animals at some time. He was not gonna.
And we're gonna show that verse. And brother, I want to bring that verse when you're talking about the giants and everything too, and because
Okay,
I
come.
confirmed it um, in his word. So look at Amos 2:9, where it says, "Yet destroyed I the Amorites before them, whose height was like the height of the cedars, and he was strong as the oaks. Yet I
Mm.
destroyed his fruit from above, and his roots from beneath." That's powerful.
You see that, right? I see, like people don't understand, man. People think this is a joke, right? Hey, look up the Let me see, what is that? Look up the height of a cedar, right? Look up the ancient day height of the cedar tree and see what it is. I mean, the scriptures are not. This is the strength of our people, right? We were beating down giants. You understand? This is the strength of our people with the Most High on our side, right? When you keep the commandments, you could beat the hell out of some damn giants. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, Israel is scared of some, folks are scared of a bully. You know what I'm talking about, man? We were beating down giants. Man, you seen how David went at him? He was zealous for the Lord and then struck down Goliath with the damn stone. Now I'm not saying that Goliath was big as the Amorites, right? Let's see, how tall is the cedar tree, right? Come on, let's bring that up real quick. What's that?
Yeah, I'm bringing that up right now.
So the average size. What does that say? 120 feet right there. What is
Let me
that
get it
size?
right quick.
Height is over 120 feet. Right? You see that? 128. See how many stories does that equal? Right?
120 feet.
Oh, a species that can grow up to 180 feet. Right? That's ridiculous. That number is ridiculous. Those are the folks that we were putting under subjection and killing with the power of the Most High on our time. Right? There's a lot of strange things in the old world, right? Which is why the Egyptians were able to throw down a damn staff and then turn it into a snake. You understand? There's a lot of things and spiritual powers that were going on in the old world that are not up to date. You know, like brothers can't understand that.
Yeah. And you mentioned, you brought up a good point too about the animals being able to speak.
Oh yeah,
now,
Con.
when he spoke to Balaam and that donkey talked, because animals can see people. You know, I'm telling you, when Hollywood make movies, remember the movie Dr. Dolittle? They made I think they ended up making like 3 movies of it anyway. But it became pretty popular, but they got some truth to it. They know stuff because at one time animals could talk. It was all one language and we all understood one another. And that's why when the Most High says that he would put the fear of us on animals, that's why when you try to get close to a bird or something like that, they tuck off and run. Because that fear of us has been on them, you know, for thousands of years. Hey, can you pull up Jubilees, brother, on yours?
Oh, Con, let me see if I can get that.
Pull up Jubilees chapter, if you can. Jubilees, if not, then I'll just read it because I can't put it up on mine.
Right,
Jubilees chapter 3.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna have to
Okay. No, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna read it.
Okay, Con, go ahead. I need to get that credit anyway.
Yeah, write the scripture down, y'all. Give me a second. Because I think I'm gonna read it first before that too. So write down the book of Jubilees, chapter 3, and give me a second because I want to make sure I get the right verses. I'm gonna start with verse 29.
Jubilees 3 and 29. I might be able
Jubilees
to pull it
3
up.
and 29.
All right,
Okay, I'm gonna start with verse 28 actually. Actually, I'm gonna start with verse 27. So write down the scripture, Jubilees chapter 3, and we're gonna start with verse 27. You got time to get there. Jubilees chapter 3, and we're gonna start with verse 27.
You can see that?
Okay, cool. Okay, Jubilees, yep.
Gone. Jubilees what? 3 and 27?
Jubilees chapter 3, and start with verse 27.
Gone.
Okay. Start with verse 27. It says, on that day on which Adam went forth from the garden, he offered as a sweet savior an offering, frankincense, galbanum, and spices in the morning with the rising of the sun. Okay, right from that day when he covered his shame. Verse 28. And on that day was closed the mouth of all beasts. It says all beasts.
Wait.
Of
what did it
cattle.
say? Wait, comment. Go back where it says closed. I want to make sure that you understand because.
And on that day was closed.
God, right.
The mouth.
So that's important. That's an important thing right there because if he closed something, that means he's got to open something, right?
No.
Go ahead.
Close the mouth of all beasts and of cattle and of birds and of whatever walks and whatever moves, so that they could no longer speak, for they had all spoken one with another with one lip and with one tongue. Did y'all hear that, y'all? I don't think they understood. Let me read that again, brother. Verse 28. And on that day was closed the mouth of all beasts and of cattle and of birds and of whatever walks and of whatever moves, so that they could no longer speak, for they had all spoken one with another with one lip and with one tongue. That's powerful, y'all. So the animals could talk.
right? You know, like the Most High is just not going to make something, and then all of a sudden, he doesn't have control over Satan, and he sends Satan down there to start messing with Eve because you know what I'm saying, that's absolute madness. That's absolute madness. You know, there are people come up here and they talking about, oh, that was Satan. That okay, well, perhaps, maybe, if anything, I'll say that perhaps, and this is no, there is no biblical background to even to verify what I'm saying right here. So this is just even a shot in the dark. But if I were to even remotely even say that doctrine was somewhat viable, I'll have to say that maybe the spirit of Satan hopped on the hopped on the doggone the serpent to bother to bother Eve. But it says that it never says that the serpent was Satan in the scriptures. And when it says in Genesis, it just says that the serpent was crafty. It didn't say it was wicked or nothing like that. It was just something that just likes to do stupid stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Hey man, let me see if I can just get you to do something dumb. That's not being wicked. If you're doing it on your own, then that's you.
Mhm.
You know what I
And
mean?
see,
Like, me
without the
and
understanding,
oh,
that's right.
go ahead.
Without the understanding of these, sorry, but without the understanding of these books, these lost books,
Mm,
then people. That's why people would think that it was Satan, because this is why they removed these lost books like Jasher, Jubilees, Enoch. You need to get an
Right?
understanding of what was really going on.
The Most High literally. Okay, look. Okay, hold up. You know what? Matter of fact, let's go to Genesis. Right? I think it's in Slocky. I might be wrong. I think it's in. Okay, right, right. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you guys. Right, this is this is uh this is reading 101 right here. Right, reading understanding. Or reading comprehension 101. Right, it says that we can easily dispel any kind of false doctrine. Just straight read the scripture for ourselves, right? It
Hmm.
says, now the serpent, right, was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. That in itself is simple as hell. It says what? That the serpent was a beast in the field. It didn't say nothing about no damn devil or no Satan or anything like that, right?
Hmm.
Means subtle means a crafty, right? Means any beast of the field, right? And then it goes on to say, and then as a matter of fact, I think it says cattle, and then it goes on and woman say, boom, you that said the woman you shall eat it afraid of it, right? And this is a literal serpent, right? Because when you look it up, when you look it up in the Strong's definition, it's a literal serpent. It's a literal serpent, like a damn snake or whatnot. Hold on, let me
Hmm.
see.
And see, and that's what. And while he's going there reading that, I want to confirm that when he said, it calls the serpent a beast. And so when you go back to Jubilees chapter 3, verse 29, and when you read, and on that day was closed the mouth of all beasts, and of cattle, and of birds, and look, and whatsoever walks, and whatsoever moves. It was talking about the serpent too, because the serpent could talk.
Con.
See, a lot of people think that Satan came in and all of a sudden gave they always paid a picture of a snake or gave him speech. No, these animals could talk prior, because that's the way the Most
Right.
High created them.
Right, and right here, right, Salakia, right, verse 14, it says, and the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed. Now, if he was talking to the damn devil, right, if he was talking to Satan, why would the Lord say, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field? Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Right? You know what I'm saying? I believe this is a literal animal that the Lord said, hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? Messing with the top, messing with Adam's wife, and for that, because I can even go down that they say that from a snake, there's another kind of animal that's born. But in the snake's inherent DNA, did you know that it has the ability to grow wings? Bet you didn't know that though, right? You can search the inherited DNA of a snake, and they can, and it's actually able to. They has the DNA markers for them at one time supposed to have wings, but it got cut off.
In
Where did
this
that
verse,
come from?
this verse is a serious cut for those who try to say that the serpent was Satan.
Con, right? And just another just another cool knowledge thing. Yeah, you know when God took the rib of Adam, guess what? The only bone in the body that grows back like that. Oh, the rib. Yes, the rib does. All right. So God took that bone from Adam. God took that rib from Adam, and that's the only bone in the body that grows back like that. All right. But yeah, right. So it says that above all cattle and above every beast of the field, right? The Lord is not describing Satan as a cattle or a damn beast of the field, especially when he's an angel on the left hand side working for the Most High God to prove man, right? So let me see, right? You know what I'm saying? These folks with these doctrines, man, I swear, man, Christianity, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's they just can't leave that Christianity alone. Our people just can't seem to leave that damn Christianity alone. That's some more Christianity on the brain. That's like a damn drug. I don't know what's wrong with our folks. Just get that stuff off the drain. There is no you know Satan creeping around in the garden trying to trying to seduce Eve. Man, come on, man. That's wicked as hell. That's wicked as hell, man. You
I
know?
mean, it's easy. It's easy to understand. If people just take the scriptures, compare the scriptures, you'll see that it's definitely undeniable that it's not talking about Satan. It is a separate beast that the Most High created, and they had some form of intelligence. They could all speak.
God. And they got intelligence because so matter of fact, let's go to what was that? Numbers? Matter of fact, let me find that real quick. Talking about the
Because
doggone
everything before the fall was perfect, y'all. Perfect. And symmetry, everything. It was just perfect, and everything was one. It was the same for man too. That's why the Bible says before the Tower of Babel, it was one race, it was one language, one people, one language.
God.
Everybody spoke the same language. So all these languages came about when the Most High scattered them abroad the earth.
All right. Let me see.
You know,
It's like yeah.
and that tells you right there the power of the Most High. How he had everything organized, for us, and we went and just messed it all up by doing this. And now it's going to take a very long time for us. The Most High could snap his fingers and bring the order back, but it doesn't work like that. The Most High also could have snapped his fingers. He also could have allowed Adam and Eve to go back into the Garden of Eden and just forgave them. But it don't work like that, y'all. And that's why we don't understand the true patience of the Most High. And the Most High is letting all this stuff play out, even in our time and beyond. He's going to let all this stuff play out. A lot of our people are going to have to die out because the order is just we are so out of order that it's like there's no point of return. So in order for it to correct itself, a lot of our people are going to have to die out. Let me give you some examples of what I mean by out of order. Well, you look at our current condition now, and it's like the men have reversed roles. The men have become feminine and the woman has become manly. And that just goes back since the 50s when all this process was taking place and everything, man taking out the home. Now your single mothers have to raise their kids. And now these single kids are the same ones who are NBA players, NFL players, lawyers, doctors, whatever, and they have this feminine thing on them, and the women have the manly thing on them. Not all women, but you know what I'm talking about for the most part. And everything is just out of order. The wickedness, the homosexuality, the lesbianism, the transgenderism, all that stuff, y'all.
God.
And it's like it's plagued our people to the core. And the only way that it's going to be weaved out is that our people are going to have to be destroyed with it, unfortunately, because
God.
they don't want to repent.
Like just to add to what Brother Daniel was saying, like a lot of things today, there's a lot of facts. I mean, there's a lot of feelings instead of facts. Like, and that's the same thing that I'm starting to see too within this truth. Brother Daniel sent me. Somebody has sent Brother Daniel a link where we got these two sisters on the scripture. Two sisters teaching lessons and breaking down the name of the Most High, saying it was some folly like a hire or some madness. Now, I understand the zeal is fantastic. Nobody has a problem. I mean, even if you are a sister and you feel that the Lord says that, hey, that I should teach, right? Or, if you're a brother and you know, use some kind of way, and you feel that you should be doing something that is not uh the Most High is against, right? We have to read and see what's in the scriptures, and we have to go by what's in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know why scriptures shouldn't be. You say, you know why sisters shouldn't be teaching on the Most High? Because the most, you know, I mean, why sisters shouldn't be teaching the word? Because the Most High said so. He
Right.
said, you know what he said? He said, you know, women shouldn't be teaching. You know, so they shouldn't have the office over a man. A man's office is the priesthood. Hey, we're not. That's all it is. Everybody's got to play their position. It's the exact same thing as you see right here. Now everything is just turned backwards. What it is before. Now, as you see right here, as I brought up in Numbers 24, I'm in Numbers 22. This is the exact same thing, right? People want to make up what they want to see in the scriptures and not understand what the truth is, right? Let's say, for example, it says, "And the Lord opened the mouth of the ass, and she said unto Balaam," right? You see that? It said, "The Lord opened the mouth of the ass, and she said unto Balaam." Now, it never said anything about the Lord, making it so he could hear him a certain way. He just said he just opened the mouth of the ass. Remember now, all the animals, they have what? They have tongues. They have some of them have beaks or some kind of teeth, or some kind of lips. You know, whereas a beak or you know, whatever it is, right? But mostly everything has a tongue, and it makes some sort of sound, or is able to make some kind of syllables or whatever. Sometimes you even hear dogs and cats making all kind of weird noises. You know, if they're trained, if the Most High opened their mouth, it'll be possible for them to talk. Ain't no doubt. Man, we got a bird like those parrots with a beak, right? They don't even have lips, and they just have a tongue, and they can sound out words. So you know that it's possible. So it says here, "And the Lord opened the mouth of the ass, and she said unto Balaam, What have I done unto thee that thou hast smitten me these 3 times?" Now, right, what I wanted to bring out, because this right here is serious, right? That when the donkey first opened his mouth, it had something intelligent to say. It wasn't dumb as hell. It was
Yeah.
intelligent. It said, "What have I done unto thee that thou hast smitten me these 3 times?" And Balaam said unto the ass, "Because thou hast mocked me, and I would there were a sword in my hand, and now I will kill thee." Man, Balaam ain't even man, Balaam's so pissed off that he's not even paying attention that the donkey is even talking. And he's like, "Yo, what? Man, boy, if I had a sword in my hand, I'd stab you behind," right? And he says that I would kill thee, right? And the ass said unto Balaam, "Am I not thine ass, which thou hast ridden forever, since unto this day? Was I ever want to do so unto thee?" And he said, "Nay." Right? So not only that, right? The damn donkey is reasoning with the man. It's telling him that, yo, ever since you had me and you've been riding me, I have never done no fool stuff like this. So why would you think I would do this? You think I would just all of a sudden just buck you off and do some craziness for no reason? Right? And then Balaam's calming down. He's like, "You know what? Let me think of hell no. You know what, man? You've been pretty good to me this whole time." Right? And it said the Lord opened the eyes of Balaam, just like he opened the mouth, right, of the ass.
Yep.
Meaning that what? That angel was always there, but he wasn't able to see it. And he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and the sword drawn in his hand, and he bowed his head and fell flat on his face. Understand that what happened here, right? Just because of the Most High opened the mouth of the donkey here, right? Opened the mouth of the ass. He allowed the donkey to save his life. This donkey saved his life right here, right? Because if he didn't,
This should give y'all goosebumps, y'all. Like every time I read this right here, it gives me goosebumps because how powerful the Most High is.
con,
And a
right?
lot of people
Because
just think. A lot of people just you got to understand. A lot of these creatures are the Most High's creatures, and people just think they're dumb animals. But you know they can understand. They got intelligence still, even though we've been bombarded by sin and the fall, and we've decreased in stature and power and all that stuff. But there's still some sorts of intelligence in these animals.
con, and you see how animals run around like cats and dogs and do all kind of stuff, and it looks like that they see stuff that's not really there, but it's there,
Mhm.
right? They can see. You know what I'm saying? As you can see right here, animals have the ability to see. This is probably where they get those movies from too, where those animals be seeing stuff in the spiritual world. You know what I'm saying? And on the spiritual plane, right? Had this donkey, had the Most High not open up the mouth of the donkey, right? What would have happened? Right? Balaam would have got slain, right? Because the angel was standing in the path with a sword in his hand. You see that right there? It said that it said what? Then the Lord opened the eyes of Balaam, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand. That angel was ready to put in some work, because what are angels anyway? Angels are militant army men in the army of the Lord. They killers made just to destroy and kill and wreak
Hmm.
havoc for the Most High. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. This is why He's gonna send them angels on there with chariots and all the other kind of stuff. Man, they got these fools talking about UFOs. Man, you thinking a damn UFO coming to save you? Did a UFO come to save Elijah? No. Did a damn UFO come down to save Enoch? No. The same thing the Most High does what? He never changes. So what does that
Right.
mean? That he's going to send a damn chariot, a real chariot, the chariots with a flaming chariot with a whirlwind on it. That's what's going to scoop you up when it's time for you to go. Right? You're not going to be, so you're not going to be leaving nowhere where some damn UFO coming in the sky. No, man, that's not how the Hamashiach rolls. Where he got something that looks manly. Everything that the Hamashiach deals with, right? He talking about something. Why would the Lord need nuclear missiles to destroy you? Did he use any kind of the heathens weapons when he brought us out of Egypt? No. He don't use that stuff. All of the Most High's weapons are what? His technology is biotechnology. That's what the Most High's technology is. He's far removed from steel and making metal works and all of this foolishness, right? His technology is biotechnology. How do you know that? Because he made man, he made the earth, so forth and so on, right? So this is what we have to do. We have to get past these carnal things. We have to see the spiritual, the spiritual thing that the Most High has for us, right?
And I'm gonna tell you something. That's very profound, y'all, because a lot of our people, especially coming in the truth, waking up, and with the zeal and everything, you have to be patient and allow the Ruach, the Spirit, to implant His Word into you and to give you understanding and understanding the spiritual, because the Bible is mostly spiritual. Yeah, it's a lot of physical things, but it's mostly spiritual. And like the stuff that we're telling you is spiritual and physical. But without that understanding, first thing you have to be keeping the laws with all your heart, mind, and soul, in order to have that understanding. And the Most High will give that to you. That's why David understood the secret things of the Most High. When you read the whole book of Psalms, the whole book of Psalms itself just tells the story of David's life and how he praises the Most High. Because David understood the secret things of the Most High.
God.
You know?
Yeah. Let me see. I had another dream that I adopted an octopus, but as it got older, formed into a sister, and I was the happiest, the most beautiful sister. Whatever you eat in the nighttime, you need to stop it before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
I
And it
dream these
sounds like
wild dreams.
sounds like you're drinking too much cognac,
Yeah, you need,
like a
you need
double
to
dose
ease
of
up.
cognac or something. Talking
Yeah,
about
because come on now, you know good well.
after the octopus.
Yeah, now that's sin all the way. You better not be eating no calamari out there. None of that. All that's sin. Good Lord, have mercy. No, I'm just playing. But yeah. So just as a whole, Israel, just like we teach every single week, right? Whether it be from the Leviathan, the Behemoth, the wonders of the world, how the earth works, whatever it is, man, it's all going to come to our knowledge, and it's all for our benefit, especially if we just keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Because when it comes time for the Most High to renew us in the spirit, right? Renew us in these, get rid of these bothersome spiritual bodies that we have, right? And then put us into something that we don't need an oil change. Every 80 years, then hey, what I'm saying, man, we'll be good to go. I'm ready to go, right? But it's gonna be a while, because as you see, he done told our forefathers this from 2,000 years ago. So
That's right.
don't try not. Of course, if the Most High, I don't know when the Most High come in, I don't claim to, right? But I am saying that it just looks like it's gonna be a while. So I wouldn't be looking to the sky anytime soon. I'll be more focused on keeping the commandments. And
The word says
God,
occupied. The word says occupied to our come. Now we're not we're not telling you to don't do anything and don't. You got to put that work in, brothers and sisters. Salvation is a work of a lifetime, not just a few moments. And we gotta really work out our salvation with fear and trembling. And it's not so much as when. It's not so much if the Most High is going to come back at any time. It's a matter of when, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen, but it's not for us to determine that. It's not for us to we can rejoice and we can be happy. We can rejoice, seeing it, and we should. We can rejoice over the destruction of our enemies. We should rejoice over the destruction of our enemies. But at the same time, what are we doing? What are we doing to help the next generation of our brothers, to help raise up men so that they can teach the men and the women. You
That's
see what I'm
right.
saying? So we still have a lot of work to do because we need the senior daughters of Zion to teach our women. We got to get back. We got to get back to that true love for ourselves.
Con.
And we got to get that order back because if we don't get that order back, it's going to be hard, y'all. It really
That's
is.
right. That's right. Once you come into this truth, you have to let the old man die. Sister, that is, there's no truer sin than that. Without letting that old man die, you're going to cling on to that world and you will be sucked right back out in it. And then they'll have you on YouTube talking about, the missiles are coming to destroy you. And the missiles are coming in and Hamashiach is going to deliver you right before the missiles hit.
And I want to add to that, and I'm glad
That's,
I'm glad Sister brought that up because
that's a little wild.
too many of our people come into this truth for the wrong reason, and I'm referring to the brothers and the sisters. A lot of them come into this truth because they want to try to find somebody to take care of their kids, or then the brother wants to, maybe hot in the pants, and he's trying to get them a quick one. So you know what I'm
Trying
saying?
to take care, yep, trying to take advantage of one of the sisters that just got the truth. So it's a lot of, as like Brother Daniel said, it's a lot of stuff you just got to watch out for. Thoughts on dinosaurs? Fake from the heathen. This is this is my thoughts on dinosaurs. As we do, as we read back in the, as we did read, far as the behemoth and the leviathan, and it says that the dragons in the sea. So we know that there are huge, huge things. But I will say, before the flood, let's say for example, we know that reptiles, right? For example, they always grow, right? They never stop growing, right? Reptiles never stop growing, right? So imagine, right? Now we know that we had double the oxygen density back in the day before the flood because we had those giant ass trees and all that stuff that was going down, and just the world was a different time back in those days. It was just like a gigantic greenhouse effect, like Brother Daniel was saying earlier. That's a perfect example, right? A greenhouse effect with a double the oxygen density. We know that anything we have in a greenhouse effect, it grows larger, it grows bigger, right? So let's say if we had for example, I'll just take something simple like an alligator. We had alligator, right? An alligator doesn't never stop growing his whole life. You see an alligator now, a 50 years old, 70-year-old alligator. That joint's huge, right? So imagine if you had a 300-year-old alligator, 400-year-old alligator. How huge would that get, right? So there could be sure dinosaurs, but I don't think there were. I just think they were just animals like we have today, a lot of reptiles and things of that nature just never stopped growing, and they had extremely long lives, and then that's why we have those gigantic that's just my hypothesis. I'm not saying this.
Well, I can add to that. And we're gonna show you some scripture. We're gonna show you a scripture to show you too. So, and I'm glad you asked that question. Huey Vandiver, is that how you pronounce the name? It says thoughts on dinosaurs, fake
Van
from
Diver.
the
Yeah.
heathen. So there were there were creatures that man had tampered with, a mixture of animals like what they're doing now and everything. And I truly believe that the Most High allowed these certain bones, man, to dig up these bones and see these creatures. Now, how they were arranged, I don't know. And if this is true, what man has pulled up. Hey, brother, can you do me a favor? Can you pull up Jasher chapter 4 and verse 18?
God.
Jasher chapter 4 and verse 18. We're going to read that and I'll show you what the wickedness they were doing with man and beast and the different kinds of beasts that they were doing, which a term, I don't know if you ever heard of a term called amalgamation, but amalgamation is like a mixture when you mixing genes together to create a different kind of species that the Most High did not create. Like for example, what was an animal that's not created by the Most High?
A dog.
Like dogs. Okay,
Man.
so the only animal the Most High created was a wolf, right? So now you have all these different breeds of dogs. So that's a prime example of how man would take something that the Most High created, and then what he does is that he tries to breed it. It's the same thing with so-called non-melanated people. Non-melanated people did not exist on this earth.
He does it with
until like hundreds of years after Abraham. So what happened? I don't know what point of line, but I actually believe that Nimrod, was so smart that he created some kind of hybrid race that just got out of control. But the Most High did not create these non-melanated people. So with that being said, what was not created must be destroyed. Hey, highlight verse 18, would you?
Con. And also, right, speaking of those, non-melanated people, what Brother Daniel was saying. Now, remember that the Most High had also, whenever you mix, right, whenever you mix races, right, it's a mutation, right? A mutation is um, when a gene is damaged. Okay, just so just to keep it in layman's term, right, it's only when a gene is damaged, right? A gene is damaged, that's called a mutation. Okay, so let's say, for example, right, if if um if a if if a heathen, what I'm saying, let's say a pale, one of those pale, non-melanated folks, right, got together with an Israelite, right,
Mm-hmm.
and you had a kid, right, 9 times out of 10, right, 9 times out of 10, uh, right, the kid would be darker, right, 9 times out of 10, the kid would be, dark, and from straight hair to either you'll get the full non-ether or you'll get curly hair, right. The reason being is because this creates the mutated gene. I mean, this fixes the mutated gene. When you mix, what happens is you try to take the best genetics of both of the parents and you combine them together, right? The kid's going to come out black because what? That is a dominant gene, which means a undamaged gene, which is going to take over a what? A recessive gene, which is in a sense a damaged gene. The same thing why non-ether hair, curly hair is a what? It's a dominant gene, which means it's undamaged, meaning that it's the original gene. Just like brown eyes are the original gene, because a lot of people, the most of the majority of the earth, they have them. If you have blue eyes, you have colored eyes, that means you're lacking melanin in a certain in a certain aspect, and your ability to see that color is not as intense as it was with somebody with dark melanin eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have like black or brown, it absorbs all the colors, right? But if you have a person with blue eyes, right, what does that mean? That it's reflecting the color that they're not absorbing, right? So that means that they're not able to absorb all the spectrums of blue. They're able to see blue, but they're not able to absorb all the spectrums of blue, just as a person with brown eyes can, or with of course 20/20 vision. All right, go
Yeah.
ahead, brother.
Let's look at verse 18 of chapter 4. It says, "And their judges and rulers went to the daughters of men and took their wives by force from their husbands according to their choice. And the sons of men in those days took from the cattle of the earth, the beasts of the field, and of the fowls of the air, and taught the mixture of animals of one species with another." Now, this is serious, y'all, because this was one of the reasons why the Most High had to bring upon the flood to destroy, because they were creating these abominable creatures. It says, "In order therewith to provoke the Lord, and God saw the whole earth, and it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted its ways upon the earth, and all men and all animals." That's a serious note, y'all, because, and the answer to your question, brother Huey, is that the fact that yes, there are a lot of mixed creatures that the wicked were creating, and whether the remains still remains as far as these bones that they're finding, and they're trying to put them together to make them look like dinosaurs. I don't know, you know, um, but there was a mixture going on with these, different beasts and stuff. That why the Most High had to destroy the whole earth with a flood.
Con.
So I hope that answered your question. Here's another one right here. It says, "Did all sea creatures die during the flood?" No, not all sea creatures, because that was one thing that they didn't have to bring in the ark, and so they were able to. A lot of them. Now, I'm not saying that there were a lot of them that did die, but of course, we talked about the Leviathan. That's Leviathan is still alive and well, and
Con.
many of the sea creatures.
I'm pretty sure that maybe I don't know, man. But yeah, but like Brother Daniel said, no.
That's a good question, though.
Yeah, Con, that is a good question. That's definitely a good question. But I'm pretty sure they were able to, because Noah, they were able to stay alive in the ark. So what that means, we still had oxygen on the earth. And yeah, no, not all the sea creatures died, because we wouldn't have fish either. Right. Going back to the mutation thing also is like, we would get these we'll also get a mutation of genes just like what we're saying from radiation, but also from the mixture of genes as we see, like for example, you know how the Most High says that because we're so far removed from Adam that you can't a brother can't marry his sister, or saying there's no more of that thing because the seed is tainted, and there'll be some type of mutation of going on, or like or you get, what is it, Down syndrome, or saying this, that, and third. There's a lot of things that the Most High knows that you're not supposed to mix. That's why He kept the races how they are. You're supposed to a lot of a lot of mixed children, they have problems. If you ever notice in school, right? I mean, well, when I was in school, and that was a long time ago, most of the kids that were causing the problems were the mixed children, and that's just there was something wrong mentally with them. You know what I mean? I mean, like, not all of them, but the majority of them. Since something was just, wrong with
Bottom
something.
line, bottom line, you had what you had. Noah had three sons. You had Ham, Shem, and Japheth. They were all black. All right.
Con.
So somewhere down the line, when that's why I believe when Muhammad Shah is talking about the parable of the sower, when he says he planted thorns, that's just me. I believe that it's talking about the non-melanated people that Satan planted, created on this earth to destroy our people. Because you look at all these people are against us.
I gotta actually look and see and do some research because, like, really, if you think about it, like, far as the non-melanated people, for them to even be on this earth, they had to be selectively breeded. You know what
It
I mean?
had to
Because
be. There's
yeah,
no,
they had to be
there's
selectively breeded somewhere along the
no
line.
way. Yeah.
These folks had to be selectively breeded, or took off by themselves to a tribe to only breed amongst themselves.
And
Because
just like this verse
even
right here in 18, this is
yeah,
exactly how I believe that the fallen angels are working with man to do this now. Y'all know how y'all see these, you know how they show pictures of these aliens, they look like grayish with these bubbly eyes and stuff like that. And this is just me. I truly believe that they're doing the same thing that they're doing here. They're just taking mixtures of genes and creating these like alien-like things to make people believe that these things are coming from outer space. But what they're doing is they're just meddling with genes.
con.
You know,
It's just
it's
like
it's, it's
far
scary.
as far as like selective breeding is concerned, it's like there's okay. Let's say even if that happened in African tribes, I think it's like one every 10,000 births there's an albino child born, right? But that child would just mix back into the tribes, and then all the rest of it, and then the tribe would be black all over again, right? It would be all melanated folks, and that particular gene would only stick for a little while, which is why Israel, for one, right, is all the same folks. We are also called Negroes, is because what? In order for we have to have different tribes and things of that nature, right? For us to look totally different, we'll have to what? Selectively breed amongst ourselves, right? To look totally different than each other, and we know that that didn't happen. Yeah, yeah, sure. And initially, but we were able to what? Merit. It wasn't looked upon, favorably because we wanted our heritage to stay with each other. But hey, there were intertribal marriages, and what? And the king of the Jews, right? Right. The king of the Jews, he looks like what? He has, an afro with bronze colored skin. I mean, there ain't too many people on the earth that looks like that, right? For us to be, so, for us to look all differently, that would mean that all 12 tribes had to selectively, and at some point in time, selectively breed themselves. But how would that be possible when we're all locked up together in Egypt? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Just for one alone, like just because we were in Egypt alone, all 12 of the brothers and our tribes, we were mixed together in Egypt as slaves alone. We were mixed
Mm.
up together alone right there. So that would tell you that what? All of us came out of the wilderness, even if that doctrine, let's say you believe that 12 tribes madness, and said that everybody looks different. How would that be possible after we came out of Egypt? We all look the same.
Mm.
You see what
That's
I'm
true.
saying? So like that's just twofold way to you know, that the Lord's people looks like the Lord. We all look the damn same. Period. You know what I mean? That's just that's just what it was. Too much man looking like so. Oh, Noah still had all the ways. I mean, like it wasn't wicked deeds. You are real. Okay, after the flood, how was it that the fallen angels were able to teach man those wicked deeds of okay, right? after they taught the men some wicked deeds, remember the angels they got locked up in Jude. Hold on, let me go that real quick. Let me go to Jude. They have a whole account on that in the book of Enoch too of what happened, but we'll read Jude, right? So, okay, boom, right. I will therefore put to you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believed not, right? Which is why it took us 40 years to get to the land of Israel, right? Because the Lord killed most of the ass, right? Because they just wouldn't keep the commandments. Right? It says, and the angels which kept not their first estate, which is the heaven, right? The angels is real angels which not kept their first estate, which is heaven, left their own habitation, which is heaven. He hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day, which means that these angels that went off and went and got man, right? And let's see what they did with the women, even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, right? Meaning in like manner, meaning the same thing as the angels did, giving themselves over to what? To fornication and going after strange flesh and set forth an example suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. And see, that's another thing too, let you know there ain't no women angels in heaven. There ain't no women in heaven. You know, if they had to damn make a decree and do all this other stuff to come on down just to get them some women, they're damn sure ain't no women in the kingdom. There are none in heaven.
Yeah, you got to understand, women were created for one thing, and that was to bear seed for the man and to be a helpmate to the man. That was it. You know, you won't find nowhere in the scriptures where a woman was created for anything else outside of that. I mean, and that's just putting it real. You know, y'all. I'm not. You know, we're not trying to be funny or, you know, the scriptures. The scriptures are the scriptures. And so,
right, y'all. Yes, you beautiful ladies, sisters, y'all are created to be our helpmeet, right? To help us, you know, keep order on the earth, as being the helpmeet beside us. Well, I mean, really behind us. I hate to say it like that. All right. Let's see it right here, right? Hold on, wait. Salakia. After the flood, the fallen angels were able to teach. Now, I was saying all that to say that, as we see here, that the angels that were going off, they got locked up, right? That they got locked up. There's even more about that stuff, even in the book of Enoch, right? And it just continues to go on and it talks about how they're being locked up in some kind of hellish prison, right? But anyways, by that particular time, right, you got to realize that Noah, he knows all the woodworking, he knows all the stuff that's been taught already. Him and his three sons, right? Japheth, Shem, and Ham, right? They all know this stuff. They all know the workings of the metal layers, all this other stuff. The Most High said that he got Noah, who was perfect in his generations, which means that he didn't have any genetic flaws or anything like this. This was among the brightest of the bright. He had to be one of the smartest out of everybody and the wisest, because what? He was keeping the commandments out of everybody, right? You know, he was being righteous per se. You know, not being not being no fag, not doing what he wanted to do, all kinds of stuff. Just doing what the Most High had commanded, right? The common law, right? Doing what you're supposed to do, right? So that was how it was possible for those men just to learn that. And then, if you just know just the basics, you'll be able to just to invent evil, just out of knowing the basics. If you can craft steel, right? You get mad at somebody, what are you gonna do? You're gonna think of, hey, I'm gonna go home and make me a knife, so I'm gonna stab the hell out of this dude. It's easy. I mean, I'm saying you're gonna be able to, that's because we're in a sinful body, right? Ever since Adam decided to to go off for the sake of Eve, that was ingrained in us from then. We can't escape it, right? We're gonna have those sinful thoughts. It's just we have to be able to overcome them with righteousness and not act on those actions. It says, so is Esau not the non-melanated that mixed with Japheth, black us? Well, we'll discuss that. We'll discuss that later, because once we start discussing Esau and the and who the nations are, brother Daniel and I, we're gonna have a full detailed, full detailed scriptures, so we'll be able to back it up.
But we'll give you a verse though, so you can kind of just study on your own. So turn to Jeremiah 49. Can you go there, brother? Since you got it up right quick.
Oh, con.
Jeremiah 49. We'll give you this, and then kind of show you because a lot of folks don't understand the whole process. A lot of people think that Esau was just born white. You know, that's the lies from the camp. They teach that stuff all the time because they said he was red, meaning that they were white. That's not true. The,
Yeah, there's even scriptures where they were claiming to beat up Edomites in the street, trying to mistake them for Egyptians.
Verse
So
10.
I'll tell you right there that they're not. All right, okay, good. Go ahead.
Yeah, verse 10. It says, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled. Seed is
That's the
spoiled,
key word.
and that's the key word. His seed is spoiled. So is he mixed with and everything too? So people are saying that the white man is Esau. Now I do believe that there are some traces of Esau in the white man, but I don't personally believe that Esau as a whole as himself is the white man, because I think that this white man is the seed of the devil, you know, that came about some kind of way, miraculously corrupting the earth. But like I said, like brother said, we'll get more into that in another lesson, because that's a whole another topic that we'll have to really lay out some graphics for you and everything on that.
Because I want y'all to understand that Esau is just not one particular. Because remember now, it said his seed is spoiled, meaning that he has spread his seed among a lot of the nations. Okay, to make some kind of to make some kind of damn abomination that with no melanin. You understand? So it's just not as this like the Esau, a pure-blooded Edomite, is a is a so-called white person. Remember now he got these he had to spread his seed through Ham and all the other nations in order for his seed to become spoiled and to have these mutations, right? Like mutations just doesn't come if you're keeping it in the bloodline, right? Mutations will come from spreading your seed around, for doing all kinds of stuff. Like if you see just period, man, like a lot of these nations, man, they just starting to lighten up as they grow older. As they grow older in years, right? They're just starting to lighten up. Also, a lot of that stuff has to do with selective breeding, because of what what these heathen have brought to attention to seem to be some kind of asinine beauty standards, right? When all right, I'll give y'all a jewel right here, right? I'll give y'all a jewel. Let's say if I had an amp, right? Let's say and the amp is the brain, okay? The amp is the brain, right? And I could turn the gain up on the amp to 100. Let's say 100 is the max gain I could turn this amp up to, right? Now melanin is a superconductor, okay? You can do some research behind this, right? This is why it's more than gold. Melanin is a superconductor, which means that it is able to take large amounts of energy and not heat up or expand, right? So it's able to transfer large amounts of energy without heating up, expanding, which is why a natural function of most of our people is dancing, right? Which is one of the highest functions of the brain, right? Now, the other nations, the heathens, they don't do this naturally, right? We can do this. You see our babies bopping and doing all kinds of crazy stuff to the beat like it's nothing. That is a higher brain function. That is not a lower brain function. That is a higher brain function. And you're able to do that because guess what? You have melanin. This is why also your cells can sickle, right? Your cells sickle because you have melanin. You're able to turn the gain up on your brain past those that do not have melanin, right? Like your cells are able to sickle, right? Which is something that the body does on purpose, because let's say, for example, these are how our people were surviving in the lands of Africa and Israel and things of that nature, where malaria would kill those that are non-melanated because their cells cannot sickle, right? Now, what happens is, let's say a mosquito, what it would do, it would pass the malaria virus, right? The malaria virus, it searches for a circular a blood cell, which is the red blood cell, right? It gets inside the red blood cell, it multiplies itself until it busts the red blood cell, and it searches out for more circular objects to fit the description of the red blood cell, right? That's how it searches for its prey. Now, what a melanated person is able to do, as soon as the malaria virus gets into your blood, right, your body can sickle its cells, which means it turns into a sickle, right? So sort of like a pill, or like a rectangle, right? Long ways, right, where it can hide itself from the malaria virus. Now this hurts like hell, right? But after it's right, this is how your body is able to build up antibodies and to come in and to destroy the malaria virus, and you can live. This is why they had to create a malaria virus for the heathen, because they cannot do this. If you have low melanin, your body does not have the ability to sickle, right? Or any of the higher blood, you understand, any of the higher functions. You understand? Like if you notice, right, the higher functions of the folks with lower melanin is wickedness, right? They try to trick and get the folks that with higher melanin to do the dirty work by wickedness, and then that's just the way that they do it. They, you know what I'm saying? It's like weird how the spectrum is different. It's like the lower melanin you have, the more inherently, and you know what I'm saying, the more inherent to wickedness you become. The higher melanin you have, the more susceptible to righteous you become. Sure, you have more bad traits. You know, sure you have more traits such as want to because the Most High has made us into servants for Himself. Because we are made to serve the Most High, and so we're going to have that servant spirit, sort of. But we have it as kings and queens, right, of this earth. But at the same time, this is also can be taken advantage of by folks that have these low melanin these low melanin DNA structures, because what they will do is they'll do the same thing that Satan will do. They will try to come in and try to attack your weak part and make you try to do what, and try to go off as we always have.
And then, I wanted to add to what you were saying in the beginning when you talked about melanin being a superconductor to keep us from burning up. You all ever heard of the expression spontaneous combustion? Y'all need to look that up. That only happens to non-melanated people. Why? Because they don't have melanin. They're not
Sorry.
carbonated people. So when they try to elevate themselves spiritually in a higher, when they try to, what you call that stuff, where people try to, they claim to try to open their third eye. You got white folks trying that stuff, and there's been a lot of cases where they burnt up from the inside out, and scientists can't even explain what happened. It's because they don't have the melanin. They don't have the melanin to protect them. That's why they can't stay in the sun too long, because they'll burn up at all.
Right.
They can stay in the sun for like 20 minutes, and they have to. And then after 20 minutes, it gets dangerous for them.
Okay, right. Let me explain that real quick. That stand in the sun, and then for them to get damaged like that. Now that's serious, right? That has everything to do with melanin. Now when you go in the sun, right, and you say, oh, that I tan, right? That tanning is actually a bad thing, right? Because if you are in the sun and you're turning darker, what's going on is like the melanin in your skin, right, is you're releasing the melanin spores in your skin, is releasing melanin into your skin, right? And what that does, that protects you, right, from the ultraviolet rays, the harmful ultraviolet rays that pierce your skin every day from the sun, right? It protects you from that. That's what the melanin spores, when they release melanin into your skin and you get darker, that's what it's doing. It's a defense agent, right? It's a defensive mechanism that your body is using, right? This is why even black folks, right, even Israelites, it's smart to use SPF. Okay, if you really want to, because the sun, even just because you have melanin, which is good, right? Melanin means that which is good, because we're not going to we're able to not be as damaged as that to someone with less melanin. Let's say, for example,
the studies actually shown. So like people. Okay, for example, Negroes, we don't need suntan lotion. I grew up around tens of thousands of Negroes. I never met one Negro who ever got skin cancer, anything like that. The only time they got the skin irritation, if they got in the pool, like if there was some chemicals in the pool or something like that to interact with that whatever their skin, then the skin would be kind of ashy and would be itchy, because that happened to me before after getting out of the pool. But outside of that, we don't need no kind of tanning lotion and stuff like that. White people do, because they don't have anything to protect them from the sun.
Right now their cells, right now a black person's an Israelite or a Palestinian with melanin, their electron around their cells, right, they would just raise up to a different to a different level to absorb the radiations that's coming in. Now what a just as you see my mouse is doing right here on the screen, that's what a non-melanated person's their electron looks like until it busts. Now when it busts, you have an on switch and you have an off switch for these genes that tell your body, for your skin cells in this particular part of your body, how much skins to make. It makes this amount of skin and then it shuts off. It makes this amount of skin and then it shuts off. That's how it works. Now, if you're hitting this with ultraviolet rays and it's bouncing up and down instead of staying like this is ours, you know what I'm saying? If the sun hits us, it just grows bigger and it absorbs it, right? But as it's going in a circle like this around the heathens, skin that is non-melanated, theirs jumps like this all the way over it until it breaks. Now, when it breaks, then that's when the on switch is broken or the off switch is broken. That's why you see people with cancer and it's a lump. That's because the off switch is broken, right? It is continuously making cells and it does not have any idea of when to turn off. So it just continues to
see, and that should tell you, right there that these people are natural, because if they can't take the sun, can you imagine in the beginning the sun was probably a lot denser. So they would have really spontaneous combustion, because they wouldn't have been. That's why they couldn't exist during that time, because it's just the sun was too great for them. And but that right there ought to tell you that these folks were not created because they were not made for the sun. We were made for the sun. And that's your big telltale sign right there. I mean, it's common sense, common nature. This tells you there's certain things that don't belong. Just like there's certain species of birds that were not created. And you know how you hear about certain you hear about these certain birds, they just see like mass, like they just committed mass suicide or something like that. But there's certain frequencies that birds can hear. And there's certain birds that were not created. It's like certain species of animals that were just evolved, were not created. Species of dogs that were not created, A lot of that stuff's going to perish because what was not created by the Most High is going to have to die. It's going to have to be destroyed. And that's why these people are trying to survive off of our genes. And that's why they're pushing integration amongst our people with these people so they can try to survive off our genes. That's why they push all the interracial commercials. So people can marry them so they can have babies by us.
And you gotta realize, right, the deeper these heathen delve into wickedness, right, and to have us following they behind up, right, the longer we're gonna be here in this captivity. It's the longer we're gonna be here. Right? The worse Jacob's troubles is gonna get. The more we following these folks up,
because we keep pushing. We keep pushing ourselves. It's funny because they're not pushing themselves on us. We're pushing them, or we're pushing ourselves on them. That's the crazy part.
Right? That's brother, you said a mouthful, right? We're always striving for equality. The fuck are we? I'm not the select you, right? Why the heck are we striving for equality for? Right? When the Most High said that we're above. Man, we need to separate from these heathen. Separation is that's the biggest mistake that we've made is integration. Right? There's nowhere where we're the same with these heathen. We don't have the same on the same outlook, the same disposition. We don't have any of that stuff. But yet we're here.
They got us thinking that we're lower than them, so now we gotta fight for equality.
Man, dog, but I look at our ancestors and they was getting their ass beat sitting in the restaurants trying to eat a doggone raw chicken, baked chicken, with no flavoring or no seasoning on it. One of these damn heathen made in the restaurant. I mean, like, who would do that? Who would get your behind beat to sit in the doggone restaurant that these heathen are cooking these these old naked chickens in there with no seasoning? That doesn't make no sense. I just can't understand it for the life of me. And then as long as we got that spirit on us and you look at that stuff today, that stuff is applauded by our people. Oh yeah, you were fighting and doing all of this stuff. That was folly and stupidity, right? And until we can come to some kind of wisdom and understand that hey man, you know what? We need to stay away from these folks, right? You know what I'm saying? Deal with your brother. You know what I'm saying? Any business dealings with what you can, always deal with the heathen last. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a neighborhood, try to make that dollar pass around your neighborhood as many times as possible before it goes out of your hood and into the hands of these damn heathen.
and that's why a lot of people are gonna have to perish because, like the Bible says, our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Right.
It's as simple as that, y'all. And y'all just gonna have
if the Most High the Most High will put these heathen in your life to because it says that if you follow the commandments and keeping the the righteousness and doing what you're supposed to, now the Most High will be putting these heathens on your job site and things of that nature to try to you know you may have them doing a little something for you. Hey man, count that as a blessing from the Most High, right? You know what I mean? You can't be the one talking about man, you out in the middle of the doggone water in the ocean, and you talking about some, well, I'm praying for the Most High to save you, and a boat roll up and talking about some, hey man, you know what I'm saying? I see you out there stranded, man. Let me go ahead and give you a ride. And you talking the boat, hey, no, go on, just because there's a heathen in there. Hey, no, go ahead on. I'm gonna go ahead and so wait for the Most High to save. Fool, that was the Most High giving you the doggone to pick you up right there. He set that damn heathen alone. If you read back in Leviticus, you'll see that they are for our people. Anyways, they're here to do the work for us. You know what I'm saying? They were here as servants from the beginning. That's why they're on the earth to begin with. How do we kept the commandments? But because we didn't, now we got the damn servants above us. And now we, it's craziness, right? So, like I was saying, right? Just be circumspect, right? Just be circumspect for the things that we doing out here, right? As we keeping these commandments, man. Don't be a fool. Don't lift a gift horse in the mouth, and understand that when we keep these commandments, man, we got these blessings coming from from strange places sometimes, right? And it can even come from a damn heathen. Okay, Brother W.
Yeah, so that pretty much sums it up, y'all. And look, we got other videos you can go back and look at it too, as well too, if you had other questions related to other subjects and everything. And I think we did a video on dreams. So that sister that had too much cognac, please go back and review those videos about dreams, so you can kind of see dreams can be deceptive. So you don't always go by that stuff. So
that's right.
We explain everything. We explain everything, in that video. So
it says the longer we are divided, the longer we will be in the situation. We have to unite and come together. Yeah, that's true, sister. That's true. We all got to play our part. We all got to play our part and just do what the Most High say, and that can happen, right?
And look, a lot of stuff is out of our hands. The only thing we can do is, control what's around us and everything, and we have to do our part. But as far as people making their decisions, we're gonna have to do that on our own. If brothers keeps killing their brothers out in the streets and selling drugs to their own people and everything, that they're gonna have to answer to the Most High for that. But they can't change if they want to. But a lot of
they have to bleed out. Like our
Yeah.
brother Daniel always says, man, they're gonna have to bleed out slow.
Yep.
They ain't gonna like it, but like I said, Israel, man, you gonna have
And look, we're gonna see brothers keep getting shot down in the streets. And I'm gonna tell you something. I can say with confidence, more than likely, these brothers that are getting shot down in the streets, the Most High already knows. I guarantee you that these brothers ain't keeping no laws at all. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I mean, and it's sad that they have to go out that way, but it is what it is.
Listen, Israel, right? The Most High, right? Hamashiach, man, we bringing warriors around here. Right? We're being warriors. You know what I mean? We ain't bringing no coons, no bed winches, no sambos, no none of that. Right? You know what I'm saying? The folks that getting in, what does the scripture say? Right? We getting real men up in the scriptures, right? Real men in the kingdom, righteous men, not effeminate men, right? We don't have no sodomites up in the kingdom. It said he ain't gonna make no sodomite out of the men of the Lord, right? You ain't gonna have no whores of the daughters of Zion. We're not gonna have any of that stuff. We're gonna have righteousness up in there, folks that want to keep the commandments. That's what we're gonna have in there, and then they're gonna like to do it. And ain't gonna be no, I feel some type of way because I'm not. Nah, it ain't gonna be that. You're gonna like your position.
Feelings.
You know what I mean? You're gonna like your position, man or woman. It doesn't matter, brother or sister. You're gonna like what the hell the Most High had you to do, and that's just what it is. If you don't like the commandments right now, if anything about what God says in the book turns your stomach or makes you feel some type of way, you best believe you ain't getting in. You ain't getting in because it says that the commandments are not grievous, which means that they should never ever make you feel some type of way.
Exactly. And if you do, then you're in it for the wrong reason.
Con.
Yeah, for the wrong reason.
All right. Do we have any questions, comments, or concerns? We'll give y'all a little while. We can put the link in the chat in case somebody wants to come on. you want to ask a question or just about the lesson. I know we went over quite just a lot
Yeah,
of
we actually
things.
covered quite a bit.
We did more than I intended. We just got to roll it for some reason. All right,
That's
there we
all
go.
we
That's a
do.
link right there, Israel. That's the link in the description. Got any questions? We'll stay on for a few minutes and we'll
Love to have you
answer.
come on if you want to come on, but just make sure if you come on backstage, just make sure you show your face
Con.
so we can see who you is. We ain't trying to get no heathens undercover back there trying to sneak in on the low.
Con. You know what, man? One night that's not on the Shabbat, we might have a night for like disputes or something like that, just for strictly disputes. Right, we might have a night, but something that's not on the Shabbat because I usually don't like getting in any kind of disputes on the Shabbat. I just want a nice, easy, stress-free day like it's supposed to be. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Oh,
That's right. That's
close
right.
that down. I'm gonna- Yeah, correct. So,
But listen,
right.
y'all, if nobody has any questions, we're gonna shut it down and we're gonna enjoy the rest of our Shabbat.
Con.
We get into the
Thank you so much.
scriptures and yeah,
Con. The water,
appreciate you all
Zion.
and
Mhm.
pray that you have a wonderful, blessed, and holy Shabbat. So if you're worshiping the Shabbat with the family members, or what have you, your spouses, all praises to the Most High.
Con.
Light
Oh,
those
yeah.
menorahs, get
Or
into the
even if you're by
Word.
yourself. Con.
Yep,
Or
you by
even if you're
yourself.
by yourself. That's right. It's okay. You know what I mean?
Yep,
It's all right.
yep,
Stacking
good
up
to go.
riches for the kingdom. All right.
Yep. Well, all right, brothers and sisters. Well, Shabbat Shalom and stay strong.
Shabbat shalom, Israel.